Hola a todos, ¿cómo están? Soy Erika y bienvenidos a otra lección conmigo. Hi everyone, my name is Erica and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I am a professional second languages teacher who teaches Spanish here on YouTube. So if you're wanting to learn the language, I have a bunch of lessons on my YouTube channel that I've actually used in the classroom, so feel free to check those out. Pero hoy lo que vamos a aprender. So today we're going to learn about Spanish small talk. So this video is intended for those of you that are absolute beginners, and if you're caught in a situation where you have to talk to someone in Spanish, I'm going to give you a survival guide of how to get through those 2 minutes, okay? So what we're going to learn about, we're going to go through basic introductions. Then I chose 3 topics that I think you might be able to talk to about or with anyone. So we have trabajo, which is work, deportes, sports, and then viaje, which is traveling. All right? So without further ado, let's get into the video. And if you like these videos, please subscribe and leave me a comment down below. Pero bueno, empezamos con introducciones o presentaciones. Okay, so the first thing when you meet someone is an introduction. Who are you? Okay, so let's start con saludos, which are greetings in Spanish. El primero, o lo más básico, tenemos hola. Hola, okay? I think you guys must have heard that before. Hola means hello. But we also have buenos dias, which is like good day or good morning. Buenas tardes, which is good afternoon. And buenas noches, which is good evening or good night. Okay, so you can say those ones as well. The second thing that you might do when you meet someone is ask, ¿Cómo se llama? So, ¿Cómo se llama means what is your name, but it's a polite form to say what is your name. Okay, so you use the formal form in Spanish, which is this first one, ¿Cómo se llama? You use it when you're talking to someone older than you or your boss or someone you want to show respect to. So, if you're just learning the language, I would say use it, like focus on this one. That way, you're kind of covered all your bases for any situation. So, ¿Cómo se llama? That is, what is your name? If you want to make it informal, you can say, ¿Cómo te llamas? So we're changing that se to a te and adding the llamas. So, ¿Cómo se llama? The response is, Me llamo Erika, por ejemplo. So, hola, ¿cómo se llama? Me llamo Erika. Okay? After you've asked that, you might want to say nice to meet you. So if you're a guy, you would say encantado. And then if you're a girl, you would say encantada. All right? Okay, the next thing I put here because people always want to ask, especially if you can speak Spanish, ¿de dónde es? Like, where are you from? Okay, so ¿de dónde es is the polite form. And if you want to make it informal, you can say ¿de dónde eres? So that's, you could ask that to someone as well. Okay, when you're meeting someone for the first time, I might just clarify. I guess I would use the formal version if you're talking to someone at a store or at a museum. Like, let's say you're traveling and you meet someone, just use the formal version, and I think it will leave a good impression. Okay. All right. So someone asks you, ¿de dónde es? You can say, por ejemplo, soy de Canadá, los Estados Unidos, China, India, Alemania, Brasil, etc. Okay. You can say what country you're from. I would search it up on the internet how to say it or to say what country you're from. Okay, and then you can ask them, like, maybe you're not in a Hispanic speaking country, maybe you're somewhere else and they just happen to speak Spanish. You can ask them. So you can say y usted, which is the formal way, or you can say y tú. Okay, remember this sentence, y usted, y tú, because that just means and you, and that's going to be super helpful. They might also ask you, and they always ask me when I say I'm from Canada, they say de cuál ciudad. Okay, so that just means what city, and then you can answer that. All right. Okay. Ahora, this one I feel like they don't really ask it, but I put it here just in case. ¿Cómo está? I feel like they normally move past this and they'll want to ask you more questions. Okay, but ¿cómo está is how are you is the polite way to say this. If you're anything like me, when anyone asks me, I always just say good. So I just put that in there because this is a survival guide. It got to be quick, okay? All right. So someone can ask you ¿Cómo está? If it's formal, informal, ¿Cómo estás? So the only difference is that S sound at the end. And I just gave you a basic answer. Bien, good, I'm well. Y tú or y usted, okay? So y tú is informal, y usted is the formal way to say it. Okay, bueno. Let's move on to trabajo. Okay, so they might ask you this as well. So I guess the nice way to ask this is ¿a qué se dedica? Which is like what do you do in your life? So this is the formal way. The informal way would be ¿a qué te dedicas? So if you want to know why, this is the reflexive. I have some videos, so you can check that out on my channel. Okay, so they're going to ask you a qué se dedica, or they can ask you dónde trabaja or dónde trabajas, which is where do you work. So you can say, for example, soy ingeniero, profesor, doctor, empresario, lo que sea. If you were a girl, you would just, for the most part, add an A. So soy ingeniera, profesora, doctora, empresaria, stuff like that, okay? I would think you should look up what job you are and then make sure you know how to say that in Spanish. Okay, and then if they ask you, like, ¿dónde trabajas? So, like, where do you work? Like, more specifically, you can say trabajo en, and you can say en un hospital, en una escuela, okay, whatever. Again, I would look that up because I can't give you all the answers in the Survivor Guide. They might also ask you con cuál compañía, so like what company do you work for, or por cuántos años, like for how many years are you working there? All right, and you would just say por 10 años, 5 años, whatever. All right. Okay, let's go on to deportes. Okay, so a very basic thing to talk about sports. You can ask what sports do you like. So to ask, first I have the informal way. So te gusta, and then I have el fútbol. So this football is soccer. If you want to say American football, you need to say el fútbol americano. All right, but this one right here, the first one is soccer. El baloncesto, el voleibol, el golf, el hockey. Gotta search it up which one you most like, maybe, but I just gave you some here. Okay, so again, te gusta is informal. If you want to make it formal, you can say le gusta, and then you just say the sport. You can ask them, what is your favorite team? So, ¿cuál es tu? If it's informal, or formal, you'll say ¿cuál es su? So, ¿cuál es tu equipo favorito? What's your favorite sports team? If they ask you if you like a sport, you can say sí me gusta or no me gusta. So sí me gusta is yes, I like it. No me gusta, I don't like it. All right? Very basic thing about sports. Okay, y to finish, let's talk about viaje, which I think a lot of people like to talk about. And this one, I guess for me, I can talk the most about this. So viaje is travel. So you can ask them, oh, ¿te gusta viajar? So that's do you like to travel? Formally, le gusta viajar. You can also ask them, ¿viaje este verano? Like, are you going to travel this summer? Or viajas este verano? So viajas with an S is informal, viaja formal. Another question you can have if you want to sound fancier is si podría, ¿dónde viajaría? That's if you could, where would you travel? That's maybe a fancier way of asking it. So you can ask them those questions. And then here's some responses that you can give. So depending on what they ask you, you can say yo iría a, I would go to. So, por ejemplo, yo iría a España. Yo voy a, that's I'm going to, so it's already planned. Yo voy a Mexico. Or yo fui a, I went to. Yo fui a Argentina. All right? So you would just plug in either the city name or the country at the end there. Okay, y bueno, este fue el video. This was the video. If you guys liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know what other videos you'd like to see down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios todos!